This Tanto episode was researched by Sensei Tracey at ravencresttactical.com, swordscholar.com, and of course, our good friend Wiki. In this case, Wikimedia.
This is Wildcat Dojo Conversations.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wildcat Dojo Conversations. Say hi, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Today, we're going back to blades. We love them so much.
Us.
Why would we not revisit them one more time, right?
Exactly, Sensei.
This time, with a little help from our friend Sensei Tracey,
hi, guys.
We're going to take a look at the Tanto, the knife, a little more closely than we have in the past. Thanks for being here, Sensei Tracey, seriously, and for sharing all the information that you gathered about the Tanto. Boy, that was fun to read.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Sensei Tracey's been on the show a few times before. Who remembers which episode?
She was on the Wabi Sabi episode with her son, Sensei Sam.
I love the Wabi Sabi episode. I want that on a rerun soon. So see, I'm
Add
glad
it to
you
the
brought it
list.
up. Now we can add it to the
Yes,
list.
that's it.
Excellent.
It surely is, Sensei.
We're ready to go.
Us.
Want to start us out, please, Sensei Tracey?
Absolutely, us. If you guys don't want to Google Tanto to see pictures, check out the cool pictures that Landon posted on Twitter.
Thanks, Sensei Tracey.
You're welcome.
And aren't we a little excited because one of the pictures is going to be my actual Tanto?
It is, Sensei.
So that's pretty cool, right, Trace?
Oh, it's totally cool. Even without a visual, it's easy to understand that a Tanto is a variation on a knife. They look a lot like all other knives in the world, except, in my opinion, they are very beautiful.
They are very beautiful. Don't you guys think there's thousands of kinds of knives?
Us, definitely.
Do you have a favorite kind?
I like the short knives because they're easily hidden. So I can go somewhere from a Swiss Army knife to a Tanto to a paring knife in my kitchen.
I like pocket knives. Modern Marvels did a whole show on pocket knives, by the way.
They really?
Oh, they did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. I like my 6-inch chef's knives because I use it quite frequently, and I just love the way it fits in my hand, and I'm really comfortable with it.
That's so cool, right?
Oh,
Us,
yes.
definitely.
Okay, we have got to get back on track, Mr. Landon. You going to get us going?
Us. Sensei, this is very interesting. Tanto actually means short blade. So the Tanto blade ranges from anywhere between 6 inches and 12 inches. That's a really nice sized blade.
Yes.
Not too long, but you don't have to be right up.
So we're going to give it just right.
Us.
It's the oatmeal that's just right. The
porridge
porridge
that's
that's just right in the Goldilocks.
I can see that. And I'm going to add that the Tanto can have a single sharp edge or both edges can be sharp.
And speaking of the shape, I'll add that the points are thought to have pierced the armor that the samurai wore. This makes me think back on your sword episode and how the steel is some of the strongest and sharpest in the world.
That's right. And Tanto made for samurai were harder at the tip. This created a better surface to use repeatedly in both stabbing and slashing.
As gross as
Stabbing
that
and slashing.
I love
you
that
said
image.
that so confidently.
is. Okay, I'm going to add this fact. Tanto all had a saya, which is the sheath or the covering, and a tsuba, which is the guard where the blade and the hilt meet. If you don't know this already, you got to go back and listen to our episode on its bigger brothers and sisters, the wakizashi and the katana.
And if you're really dedicated to Wildcat Dojo Conversations, you can go way back on our Twitter feed. A little pro tip, if we have time. On Twitter, there's 4 buttons. One of them is media. That's how you can find the graphics faster. So you get none of us just with words. You just get the actual graphics. So that's a little
Very
tip.
cool.
I agree.
And I'll go on to say that the Tanto were used when other weapons failed, which is interesting. And a smaller version known as the kaiken was carried by female samurai.
It's amazing to me that we did 3 episodes on blades already, and there's so much more to add, right?
So it's going to be a 4-episode series. That's a lot of information.
I wonder if it's us, and we're just kind of blade obsessed.
I think that would be a good guess. Well, I might as well keep it going with one more thing about the shape. It's very unique. Some are flatter and some are more traditionally knife-shaped. Most have no hira, a ridge line, which, if you didn't listen to the podcast on swords yet, it's the line where the tougher steel meets the softer steel that creates the sharper edge.
Oh, Sensei, and that's a really nice segue for me to tell them that they should go back to episode 40 and hear all about ridgelines and sharp swords.
Or wait, maybe we'll play it on our archived episode on March 29th.
Add it to the list.
Good idea. They're going to have to wait and see on that one. Plus, they can tell us which one they would like to hear, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, I'm ready to move on. In your research, Sensei Tracey, I was amazed at how many types of Tanto you found.
Us.
So, of course, we have to round robin this one.
Of course we do. Can I start?
Please.
Okay, so I'm going to start talking about the Hira. It is the most common because it has no ridgeline. And the reason it has no ridgeline is because it's made from one piece of the triangular steel.
Okay, I'm going to go next. There's the Kanmuri Otoshi. It is made in the shape of the hero blade, and it's double-edged, with the back half of one side of the two blades totally unsharpened.
Us. I've got one that was used by the samurai in the Sengoku period. It is called Yori Toshi, and it's quite thick at the ridge, which makes it excellent for armor piercing and grappling.
I can kind of picture that. But then again, we've already been over the fact that I kind of like visualizing that gore stuff as long as I'm not in it.
Really? We've talked about it? Who knew?
But on that note, I'm going to add on that there's one made from broken long swords. It's called shiogi, and it is quite rare.
Okay, I've created escrimas from my broken bows, but I have never created a short blade from a broken longer one. That's something else and so cool.
Us.
And the literature says that the shinogi means the central ridge that runs along the length of the blade. Well, we've mentioned it 3 times already in this podcast. The softer, sharper side is separated from the tougher, stronger side.
Us.
And Sensei, I remember that from our episode on blades, and I'm going to finish this with a little bit of a gross one. I feel like I always get the gross ones. It's called a kubikuri. It's the rarest of all the ancient Tanto. And the thing is, it doesn't have a sharpened point because it's made not for stabbing, but really for cutting off heads. The word means head cutter. Super gross.
Oh, man.
It is super gross.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's super cool too.
It's very cool.
Okay, let's keep up the pace for a change. And let's move on to a little bit of history.
Yes, I really like this part of the research. The Tantos started being used mid-Heian period, 794 to 1195. Then at the end of the Heian period, many ornate Tanto were created.
That's a cool fact. And I'm going to move us on to the 15th century, where ornate designs gave way again to the need to produce many weapons.
I remember from our other episode that this back and forth between ornate production and mass production went on for centuries and was always driven by peace and war.
Speaking of war, the way samurai have used the Tanto has remained pretty secretive over time.
Secret.
It is a great segue, though, into the use of these small and fabulous blades.
I'll start again. Obviously, they're used for slashing and stabbing.
And I'll keep going with the idea that they were and are popular because they're adept at the elements of speed and surprise, which makes them perfect for close contact fighting.
So I'm going to go off on a little segue here and say years ago, I was given a video from a company that makes knives called Cold Steel. It's about how dangerous knife fighting can be. And it was both enlightening and unbelievably creepy to watch. It's about 20 minutes long.
Wow. Master Collegian used to say that in close, a knife was and is more dangerous than a gun.
I totally remember that. Do you remember that too, Sensei Jackie?
I have such a visual of him standing in front of the class with a knife and someone holding a fake gun, an air pistol, and he got to them before it went off.
Oh, yeah. I had forgotten that visual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget, he also used to say real women throw knives.
But seriously, how much fun is throwing them? That has been around forever.
When I get to my dojo and I have 10 minutes before people come, nothing makes me smile like throwing knives.
Yes.
It's like my favorite thing to do with that extra few minutes. Does anybody else ever have that?
Absolutely. I
Love
actually
to throw knives.
Yep. Anytime, anywhere.
Anyway, I think we have a few more facts about how samurai use the Tanto, don't we?
Yes, we do. And I get a gross one.
Oh,
Yay!
yay.
She took it from me. Yay!
People were known to use Tanto as the weapon of choice when committing seppuku.
Glad you got the gross back, Sensei Jackie, but I have a neat one this time. When a samurai would fight with blades in both hands, they used all sorts of combinations. Sometimes they used a katana with a wakizashi, and also a sword with a tanto. The note said that the easy grip changes on a tanto made it popular with many warriors over the wakizashi.
That is some practice.
Oh,
Blades in both
goodness.
hands?
Absolutely.
In a katana with
And
a
a tanto?
wakizashi,
Yep.
and then a sword and a tanto. Like,
Yeah.
what?
I know. It's
You have
just
to
like
have
a
good
lot.
combination to have a small blade here and a big blade there, and just
what
It's
it really
like-
reminded me of was Sensei Tracey's 6-inch chef knife, because I bet you're really dexterous with that, and then holding a sword in your other hand, it would just be crazy.
It would be crazy. It's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really a neat one, Landon. And frankly, I'm glad you got it. Okay, let's move on to the kaiken, the dagger, the tanto of the female samurai.
Oh, Sensei, I'll start this one. Women used a version of tanto called kaiken. It's a dagger that can be single or double-edged and is 8 or 10 inches long.
I read that too. And I'll add that it was carried in the kimono and used for self-defense, to guard the home, and for seppuku by cutting the veins in their own necks if captured or dishonored.
and I love that fighting spirit, but I'm not so crazy about cutting the veins in your neck. Ugh.
It is kind of
That
gross.
is Gross.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
But back on track. I remember we mentioned in one of our podcasts the female samurai, which are known as Uno Bogeisha, and they train to protect the family and the family's honor.
I know this is a weird segue, but speaking of honor, we haven't told the audience a lot lately that we have this book podcast coming up. And the book that Sensei Jim picked for us is called The Martial Way by Forrest E. Morgan. And did you guys notice in the beginning of the book how much time he spends on honor?
I did notice it, Sensei. I was surprised that much of his writing was dedicated to honor.
I'm interested in where he's going to go with this. You guys have to check out our tweet and join us for the read. Right, Landon?
Us.
I know we say later in the podcast that our Twitter account is Wildcat Dojo, but I'll say it here too.
Us.
Anyway, let's get back to it. We're going to finish with a great piece of information that you dug up, Sensei Tracey, Tanto Jutsu.
Right? That was interesting. Tanto Jutsu is the study of the knife and explores the use of the weapon in both offense and defense. Although it's more commonly called Tanto Jutsu, the longer name is Jinen-Ryu Tanto Jutsu.
You know, I love this part, Sensei. History says that the founder was Manaka Sensei, and his teacher, Hatsumi Sensei, taught him how to use the Tanto. The curriculum focused on understanding the principles of the weapon.
Us. And I'll add that Sensei Manaka thought the Tanto was perfect for close infighting and felt it was important to know how your blade worked and also to get good at defending against another blade.
Okay, Landon, that was a good one. And I'm going to add one more thing. As it is in most systems, practicing was done with wooden and rubber weapons. Also, although some of the information has been lost over the generations, we did get some cool stuff. So, as usual, let's get started.
All right, I'll start. He realized that since the knife would be held with just one hand, the other hand could be trained to trap, seize, and control opponents.
Well, we do love our control moves in this system, don't we?
Us.
We certainly
Absolutely.
do, Sensei. Manaka Sensei focused on muto or no sword. In a move that was unique at the time, he focused on the importance of the body movements and not the knife.
Us. I read that since he considered the idea of disarming a swordsman unrealistic, he focused training on preparing the practitioner for fighting opponents that were armed with different blade lengths. In fact, he might have been one of the first to realize that different blade lengths needed different strategies for both defense and in the attack.
Ooh, cool.
That's really amazing.
That is way cool. I really like that fact. And it's something I think somebody would take for granted. Like they wouldn't consider it, let alone put time into putting a system together that addresses it, right?
Us.
Okay, but we're going to get back to the meat.
Ew.
That was gross.
of what Sensei Manaka created. Come on. That was a sorting / cutting.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, fine.
That was just gross, Sensei.
He made a syllabus of kata and stances, and some of that information was passed down. So let's start with that.
It seems he created 3 main areas of study. There's kame, which is stance, and it's composed of 7 different stances and different knife grips. His thought was that different stances and different grips affect not only the physical performance of the practitioner, but it also affects the attitude and mentality of the fighter.
Oh, I think that's 100% true.
Us.
I would like to say that I'm completely without a change of mind no matter what is in my hand, but I don't think that's true.
Sensei.
I'd like to say it, but I'm sure it's not true.
Yeah.
So I'm going to push on. I think we have a few more details to share, don't we, Landon?
We do, Sensei. There's something called Kihon Gata, and it is the basic form. The moves include thrusting and cutting, as well as speed and agility. Sensei Manaka realized the importance of connecting the knife to the practitioner's footwork.
Something else we can relate to, right, guys?
Sensei.
Okay, where are we, Sensei Jackie?
Well, there's a more advanced kata, and it was called sabaki. This one was a higher level of training, and the practitioner could focus on combining everything they'd learned. This kata added things like joint locks and throws.
Right. Another interesting thing about this level was that it included subduing without killing someone. I wonder if this was one of the first systems to focus on using both deadly force and an alternative to deadly force.
Well, you know what? That does bring us back to Master Collegian because he was a big proponent of having skill at both things.
And Sensei, don't you think that what we've read about Sensei Manaka is that this was like the first of Master Collegian's weapons courses?
Ooh.
Because he's including everything that Master Collegian did. It's almost as though it was sent to Master Collegian from Sensei Manaka.
Ooh. Jackie went there.
Very cool.
And on that spooky note, I have one more fun fact. Sensei Manaka realized that you didn't need to have the Tanto to fight. He encouraged his students to use other small objects and apply the technology to it. And I love that fact, don't you guys?
I absolutely love it.
It's so like what Master Collegian used to say, where the weapon becomes a weapon in the hands of the trained practitioner.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Okay, before we jump to our knife quotes, they were fun to look up.
Oh, they were.
Let's mention a couple of things about the Tanto today. Start me out, Sensei Jackie.
Sensei, many styles, including our own, include training with the knife. Ninjutsu and Aikido are 2 examples, and it is included in all types of military, police, and even personal self-defense training.
Hey, and this is a great place to mention. If you guys train in a style that includes the Tanto, we would love to hear from you guys. We are all over the web at Wildcat Dojo, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and our website, wildcatdojo.com. And you can send us an email at dojoconversations@aol.com.
Thank you. And while we're off topic, don't you think that Honor Athletics probably has a Tanto or 2?
Honor Athletics, of course.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Okay, I'm going to take, when you go to checkout, would you please mention us to get a 10% discount? I would appreciate it a lot.
Make sure that when you're on the web, you're at honorathletics.com.
And the best way, if you would like to talk to Cynthia, call her at 770-945-5150.
Okay, guys, it's time for the quotes. Landon, I think you're going to start me out.
I am, Sensei, and we're off. Richard Marcinko, who is on SEAL Team 6, said knives are like credit cards. Don't leave home without them, and always carry several.
I love that.
That's very cool.
Okay, keep it going, Sensei Jackie.
Wolfgang Puck, the chef, said, I like the Japanese knives. I like the French knives. Whatever is sharp.
Okay, Sensei Tracey, you're up.
The writer Rick Riordan said, but magic is neither good nor evil. It is a tool, like a knife. Is a knife evil? Only if the wielder is evil.
And a shout out to Rick Riordan because I do like the Percy Jackson books.
Yes.
I've read a couple of them. And I'm going to finish it up with comedy because that's always where I want to go, isn't it?
Yes.
And Billy Connolly, who I think is a comedian, will you look it up for me, Landon? Said, I've always wanted to go to Switzerland to see what the army does with all those wee red knives.
Yes.
Sensei, he is a Scottish artist and is a retired stand-up comedian.
So I'm right. He is
All
a comedian,
right.
and hence the use of the
Yes.
word we, because we would never use the word W-E-E, we, to mean little.
No.
We would have said, does with all those little red knives.
Oh, but it's so cool.
I
The
know, but
wee
he
red
said
knives.
wee red knives, and that's fun. I see Landon looking at the quote saying, what? I thought she just misprinted the word we. And after that teeny weeny bit of laughter, it's time for me to thank you, Sensei Tracey, for all the patience it took to be on this show. And what I mean by that, folks, is we had a lot of plane interruptions.
We had
today.
airplane palooza today. You would think that we would be literally on the tarmac.
Oh,
That's what it sounds like right now.
So thank you for the idea, for being on the show, and for your patience.
And for being a flight attendant who understands what
Yes,
I
that's
say.
true.
It was my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
I can't wait to do it again.
It was fun.
Yes.
All right. Start me out, Sensei Jackie.
Bye, everybody. See you soon.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you next week.
I'm Sensei Michelle, and I'm signing off.
Thanks for being here. Hope you join us again on Wildcat Dojo Conversations.